You are still holding today in your hands. You can feel it even now, lying here in the dark. The conversation that did not go the way you wanted, the small win nobody noticed, the thing you said and wish you had said better. The whole long day, with all its weight, is still sitting on your chest, asking to be carried into sleep as if it were the only day there ever was. But it was not. It was one day, one stage in a much longer becoming, a single turn in a road you have been walking far longer than tonight. This is not about pretending today did not matter. It is about seeing clearly and gently that today was a stage you are now allowed to pass through. And what you are about to do, the hardest and quietest discipline of all, is to set it down. 18 centuries ago, a Roman emperor lay awake with the same weight you are feeling now. He ran an empire by day. At night, alone, he wrote private notes to steady himself, and one of the things he kept returning to was the smallness of any single day against the size of time. Listen to how he put it: "Do not act as if thou wert going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over thee. While thou livest, while it is in thy power, be good." He was not being morbid. He was doing something precise. He was placing this one day inside its true frame so that it would stop pretending to be everything. And elsewhere he wrote the line that loosens the grip of any single hour. Time is like a river made up of the events which happen and a violent stream, for as soon as a thing has been seen, it is carried away and another comes in its place, and this will be carried away too. Today was one of those things seen. Already the current has it. Already it is moving past you, whether you cling to it or not. The philosopher Pierre Hadot spent his life studying what men like that emperor were doing in those private notes. He showed that ancient philosophy was never just argument on a page. It was a set of spiritual exercises, daily practices for the soul, as real as training for the body. One of the oldest he called the view from above. You lift your attention in imagination far up and away from your own small position, until you see your single day the way you might see one field from the window of a plane. From down inside it, today filled the whole sky. From up here it is one stage among countless others, and its grip quietly loosens. Distance does not make the day meaningless, it makes it bearable. It lets you hold it without being held by it. The poet Hermann Hesse said it from the gentlest angle of all, in a poem about the stages of a life. His image was simple: every flower must wilt to make room for the next. Every stage of life, like every season, must end so the one after it can begin, and a quiet magic lives inside each new beginning, waiting on the far side of every ending. He was not mourning the wilting, he was blessing it. The flower does not fail when it fades. It is keeping its promise, making way. And so a day that ends is not a day that failed you. It is a stage doing what a stage is meant to do, which is to pass and to hand you to the next. Put the three voices together and tonight changes shape. The emperor gives you the frame. This is one day in a violent river of days. Hadot gives you the practice. Rise above it, see it small and feel its grip release. And Hesse gives you the blessing. The ending is not a loss but a making of room. None of this asks you to care less about today. It asks you to see it truly so you can finally let it go. There is a reason this is so hard, and it is worth seeing plainly. We cling to a day because we are afraid that letting it pass means it did not count. So we replay it, polish it, argue with it, as if enough attention could keep it from slipping into the river. But the clinging is not what makes a day matter. The clinging is only what keeps us from resting. A stage is honored not by being held forever, but by being lived fully and then released. The emperor did not love his days less for knowing they were carried away. He loved them more because he knew each one was rare. Seeing the impermanence of today does not shrink it. It returns it to its true size, large enough to have mattered, small enough to set down. And once it is the right size, your hands are finally free to open. Tonight you do exactly that. You see this day as the passing stage it always was, and in seeing it clearly, you find you can let it go. So tonight, let the passing of this day be the last gentle discipline I practice. I let today be one stage in a much longer becoming, and not the whole of me. I set it down the way a flower lets its bloom fall to make room for the next. I do not cling to what is already moving past me in the river of things. I rise above this single day far enough to see it small and feel its grip release. I let what is finished be finished, and I trust the quiet magic waiting in the morning. The day is seen now, and the day is small now. One stage among the countless stages of a life that is still becoming, carried gently down the same river that carries everything, and there is nothing left for you to grip. The conversation released, the small win and the small failure both laid down in the current and let go. The weight lifting off your chest the moment you stop pretending the single day was ever the whole sky, so let the long discipline of stopping finish itself. Let the flower of today close without grief, because closing is how it makes room. And somewhere past this sleep a new stage is already quietly forming, the morning that will ask you to add one more deposit to the long ledger of your becoming, where William James whispers that we are spinning our own fates, and Charlie Munger waits with his slow patient compounding, and Anders Ericsson stands ready with the deliberate work that builds a life one practiced hour at a time. The morning that adds one more day worth 10,000 days, the mirror of this very letting go, but that beginning belongs to the dawn and not to now. For now the only thing left is to let today be the stage it always was, lived, honored, and finally released, the breath going slower, the river going quiet, and you, at last, allowed to rest. Begin disciplined, end reflective.